NF dropped this new album on Friday. And as a huge NF fan, this felt like the perfect album to review. I listened to it with a friend at midnight, all the way down, and man, it's good. It's really cool seeing him grow as an artist, and my overall takeaway was it felt like there were no two songs that were the same on the entire album, which was awesome. Anyways, let's get to the song ranking. This one did not feel like an NF song. Like, it's alright in a void, but it feels very odd coming from him. This is probably the only one on the album that I would say I disliked, which is unfortunate, but 1 out of 13 is not that bad. Yeah, this one is okay, but the ad-libs from NF are all really odd and sound really out of place. I will probably never listen to this one again. The dude I was listening to this one with told me that it seems like this is the one that's going to be on people's posts about their relationships, and that seems pretty accurate. It also just sounds like a Linkin Park song, but that is what it is. It's alright. I added it to my playlist. It's solid. It's like a 7 out of 10, but I don't think I'll listen to it a ton. And it's not because I'm single. This one for sure does feel pretty standard for an NF album, and that doesn't mean it wasn't good. It's definitely more optimistic than the other ones of this style, and I won't listen to it a ton, but if it comes on, I'll leave it. This was not what I expected from a song with this title, but I was pleasantly surprised. This is about where you could start really telling the difference that he had made in his music overall compared to his past 5 albums. This one was a mixed bag for me, because it has some serious jaw-dropping lines, but it also is very repetitive. It feels like this was the only one that felt like it was similar in any way to any of the other songs, and not for the best. It felt like a lesser version of those songs. This one was not what I expected from the final track of an NF album, or really from anywhere in an NF album at all. That being said, it does continue to grow on me. It's completely different from anything else he's ever done, but at the same time, it's kind of beautiful. It was really cool to hear. This one's got a lot of emotion behind it. There's already a music video for it, and it's one that I don't entirely understand yet, but I hope to eventually be able to, and it is a good song. This is one where you can really see the transformation he's making, though, and that's pretty cool. This one goes really hard, and one of my friends was actually in the music video, which is pretty cool. This one has less bars, but works really well as a whole song. Definitely a different vibe from the other single that came out, but as I mentioned, they are all pretty different. This one started out a lot lower than I wanted it to. About a minute into the song, I was like, okay, this is a pretty standard song. Then around that 1/3 mark, he absolutely goes off. I don't know who did something to him, but they probably should back off after this song. He also calls out one of the dudes that is featuring in one of his songs on this album, which is pretty funny. This one was a lot lower in my initial listen, but since I've gone back, I just find myself replaying it over and over again. The part where it goes into the drop and then goes straight into the piano bit just gave me chills. Now, Julia Michaels is not someone I'm generally a fan of, but she really does add to the song. It speaks to some of the things I felt more than I expected, and it continues to move on up. We'll see if it can get any higher. I think we all lost our minds when this song came out. Rarely does a song come out like this that starts out so strong and continues to build the entire way through. It was wild. By the time I finished, I immediately had to go back and listen to it again because, man, that was crazy. But it's not number 1. My friend and I had our eyes wide and our mouths gaping the entire time we were listening to this song. It goes so very hard. This one could easily have been the first single for the album, but it was a welcome experience halfway through the album, and it comes in at my number 1. So that's my song ranking, and now it's time for the secret ranking of the video, the album ranking. Just to be fair, I do give all 6 of these albums positive reviews overall, so here they are. Therapy Session is still a good album, but is definitely the one with the least impact on me, and I think on his career as a whole. Oh Lord really goes hard, and How Could You Leave Us is so sad, but I don't really go back to most of the other ones. Turn the Music Up is the first NF song I ever heard, and I added it to my playlist back in 2017. It was one of my first 200 songs on my playlist, and now there's 4,600, so take with that what you will. Lots of good songs, but also less with lasting impacts, since it is his first album, to be fair. This is a seriously consistent album. It has less of my all-time favorites, but has lots of really personal songs. Also, Prideful and My Stress are basically the same song, and you can't convince me different. This is the one that really made him blow up, what with Let You Down and everything, but the rest of the album is solid too. For a period of time, 10 Feet Down was my favorite out of all of his songs ever, and it's still pretty high up there. Yeah, it's really good enough to be this high already. Kinda crazy, lots of great songs on here that resonate, and I'm already replaying more of these than many of the other albums. And it's been 3 days. I love this one so much. This is the one that really fully brought me in as a full NF fan, and it will always hold a special place in my heart. Paid My Dues goes so hard. So what did you think of Hope by NF? I personally thought it was a really good album. Go ahead and drop your comments below. Let me know what you think. Obviously, music is subjective, but if you didn't like it, you're wrong. That's just how it is. I am currently taking recommendations for more albums to listen to also, so go ahead and let me know down below if there's anything you think I should check out. That's it for today. See y'all later.